Is DJing a good career in 2022? The answer is no. Thank you for watching. I'm just kidding, guys. No, I'm actually not. So if you think you're gonna be rich and famous just by being a DJ, 99% of the time, it doesn't play out like that. So why am I still here, making weekly videos, producing music, DJ routine, and content?
Wow, I can't believe I actually did 800 TikToks, what the hell?
I think a lot of us are motivated by headliner DJs that are living the dream, playing in front of thousands that adore them, and earning enough income for their families to thrive. These DJs must hate to admit it, but a lot of what they achieve comes down to luck as well. If you have read the book The Outliers, you have many historic evidence showing that being at the right place and the right time works wonders. Pure hard work simply doesn't cut it these days. So is there a way to increase your odds at beating the system to inch closer to that headliner DJ dream? Before we get there, we have to first look at the main driving force behind pursuing such a risky career. Doing it because you can't live without it. A great comparison to having a great career is having a great partner. First comes lust, then comes love, and last comes responsibility. After a few dates and semi-long-term relationship, you would start to identify your own likes and dislikes. And if you're lucky, you would finally find the one, and you all would consider settling down one day. As the years goes by, the passionate love eventually fades into normalcy as you navigate the many challenges in life. Translating this into a career's timeline, this is the stage where most people give up on DJing. In my opinion, you will need a strong reason as to why you want to become a DJ as compared to other careers, as you'll be doing a lot of free jobs in the beginning. Personally for me, I've been a performer since young, be it my community's balloon crafting competition, scouts, or school presentation. And when I found DJing, it was a no-brainer for me as I loved music and I didn't want to learn how to read notes. I honestly feel that you do not need to become the best at DJing in order to be successful, because when the going gets tough and when everyone else quits and then you still have the drive to push on, you will eventually rake up enough experience to become a great artist. This brings me to my next point, goal setting, being honest with what you want, and from there, finding out the steps to achieving it. When I first started DJing, I naively thought that the most skilled DJs get to play at the biggest event and get placed in the highest of regards. So I set a goal for myself. I wanted to become a DMC World DJ Champion. After years of training, I started to play shows and open for big headliner DJs, and I realized that most of the time they aren't very skillful on the decks. They mainly produce big records and have a great know-how of the business side of things like PR and marketing. So I started to shift my focus to learning the skills of the trade and to become a big festival DJ. Much like David Guetta, Armin van Buuren, DJ Snake, the Chainsmokers, etc. Eventually I found out that some of the low-tier DJs actually paid their way through to play at these big festivals. And mid-tier DJs, even though they were invited to play, they weren't being paid. And then COVID started, the government decided to shut down all nightlife activities in Singapore, and I eventually lost my job. This goal that I set for myself eventually became unsustainable for my family and I, which led me to set my next goal: to become financially free while doing what I love. So I think the key here is to logically work backwards, using my goal as an example.
Make more money, spend less money. The easiest thing most people do is they just spend too much money.
So for a start, I shouldn't spend too much. I track all my income and expenses in this free 3-column ledger that is created by fellow YouTuber accounting staff, which I'll link below. Next, I look at ways in which I can monetize my craft. I know there's quite a bad connotation when it comes to monetization as an artist. People call you a sellout, your desire to make art is not pure, and you are not a real musician, and the list goes on. It took me over a decade to get over the fact that if you can't make money, you can't even survive, let alone make music. If you can make money while doing music, you can afford to spend more time on it without a need for a side hustle, and more practice time will increase your chances to becoming a better musician and DJ. All those that talk smack about your decision aren't gonna support you when you're broke anyways, so why bother listening to them? Another thing to note when you're trying to monetize music is that trends come and go. So if you're a house DJ, when house music is trending, good for you. Your views will go up and more gig opportunities will come. But what happens if house music is no longer trending? You can try to stay relevant by producing other genres of music, but if you do not genuinely love it, the audience can snuff you out, you know. So rather than fake it, I turn to YouTube. I'm quite talkative by nature and I love to share my knowledge and experiences with my friends and family until to the point that it starts to annoy them a little. So YouTube allows me to express myself and share my knowledge on DJing and music production to the people that need it while offering the best monetization program under the sun. From there, I can create online courses, review dope equipments, get good affiliate marketing deals and sponsorships from brands that I believe in when the music that I love is currently not trending. Next up, producing music. Even though the revenue that Spotify gives you is pretty low, it is still an income source after all. And also, by having a hit song, it increases your chance of getting booked in this current age of DJing. I'm quite a non-believer in record labels trying to help artists because I believe that at the end of the day, it's still a business and the deal can only be fair if you have some form of leverage. So without label support, how can you make a song stick? By creating volume. 1 track a week if you have to. The reasoning behind this is, at the beginning, nobody knows who you are, and you need a lot of practice finishing tracks and knowing what your audience vibe with. This can only be achieved via quantity. Quantity also helps you dissociate yourself from the final product, as a successful record often needs marketing, PR, the right collab, trends, timing, and audience perspective, etc. And the truth is, in the beginning, you're gonna fail a lot, and this prevents you from beating yourself up too much. On the flip side, I believe this will also lower your ego when you eventually do achieve success. Once you get a few songs to pop off on your own, it's finally time to work with a record label on a single. It doesn't matter if you have to settle for a lower profit, as they will boost your track with paid promotions, playlistings, and radio plays, which will eventually get your name out there. This in turn will flood your other releases with listeners, and if you have been releasing a track a week for years, this will create significant revenue. But of course, these sources of passive income takes a long time to build, which means you will need a part-time job or an 8 to 5 job. There's actually an 8 to 5 job. You don't want to have to bring work home to do. Any time at home is precious for you to build this career. When you eventually manage to set up all these forms of assets, you would have more leverage in terms of what kind of DJ gigs and deals you accept. This will in turn grow your reputation. Content you created can finally be more you-focused as you have cultivated a strong and loyal following, as you have provided them value over the years via your YouTube videos and music. Here's when quality of work start to matter more and more. You'll then be able to travel the world DJing for thousands of screaming fans as your demand rises, which will eventually lead you to play your dream venue. All this starts with a passion that you can't live without, turning hobby into a career through careful goal setting, and then logically working backwards to find a path to success. I'm personally still working on this, and this is just the beginning of my journey, and I can't wait to take you along for a ride. If you are interested in taking the first step to becoming a DJ, watch this video here.